Hey guys, KingFanMan here. I am so excited for this segment called the Patreon Podcast with the King. I had been wanting some way to try to show my Patreons just how much I appreciate them, and I wanted to get to know them a little bit better too. So that's where this idea came from. But you know what? The best surprise is just how much game knowledge my Patreons have. I've been having a blast recording these, and I know you guys are going to love listening and watching too. So sit back and enjoy this week's episode of the Patreon Podcast with the King. Welcome to this week's episode of Patreon Podcast with the King, and I'm here with one of my favorite Patreons, Big T. Welcome, Big T.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for having me.
You have been a longtime supporter of the channel, and I appreciate you so much. I need to say that right off the bat.
Well, thank you.
I want to just jump right in and start with your gaming past. That's where I like to start because you've been a gamer for a long time, like me. What got you into gaming originally?
Well, I first started gaming when I was very young with my uncles playing Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. That is a very good game. So you were watching from the wings, and did they let you play, obviously?
Oh, absolutely. My mother did not like it, but that's okay.
So how long, well, this would kind of give away your age. I won't ask questions like that. What was your first gaming system?
My first gaming system was the Sega Genesis.
I knew that. Me and you have talked about that before. That was not my first, but I had one as well. Loved it. The old Frankenstein, as we called it, because you could morph it into the 32X and then the Sega CD and all of those things. Did you have?
It was very versatile.
Very quickly, because I know you want to get into Fallout 76 and some of the more modern stuff. And these podcasts go very quickly, as you know. But give me some of your favorite Sega games. Can you remember back that far?
Pitfall.
Yes.
The Jurassic Park one. Sonic.
Yes.
There was one more. I can't think of it at the second.
Pitfall was one of my very first games I was addicted to. One of the very...
Altered Beast was the other one.
Okay, yes. And then I had to buy the 32X so I could play Doom on Sega. That was another one I was addicted to. So
that was a good one.
Yes, Sega was huge. Now, I know this answer because you were on the live show the other day. By the way, I'll put a link to that down in the description. As most people know by now, if you're a Patreon for the KingFanMan, you can not only do this, the Patreon Podcast with the King, but you could come on the live KingCast, and you did that the other day. By the way, how was that experience?
I enjoyed it fully.
And it
was quite interesting.
And we want to have you on again. You did a fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you.
I will put a link down to that live podcast because that was just last Saturday, and we covered a lot of Fallout 76, so it would do good for you guys to go listen to that, and Big T did a fantastic job. But I think we mentioned this in the live podcast. What was your very first Bethesda game?
My very first Bethesda game was Morrowind.
Yes. The game of all games. The game that didn't hold your hand at all.
Nope, it said, here's the world, go have fun.
Go have fun. Did it overwhelm you when you started playing Morrowind?
It still does to this day.
Yes. But were you hooked from the instant you started?
Instantly.
Yeah. It made you a Bethesda man.
Yes, it did.
But it's not your favorite Bethesda game.
No, it is not.
Now, you actually ranked your top 5 the other day on the live show. I'm going to go ahead and do it again. What's your top 5 Bethesda games?
I'm trying to remember the exact order I did it in.
I'll help you because I think I remember.
Fallout 4 was number 5.
Uh-huh.
Fallout 3
Oblivion, absolutely. And then you put Skyrim right out of the top 5.
Right outside of the top 5.
Right.
It was definitely number 6.
So you are a Fallout and Elder Scrolls guy just like I am. But
yes, I am.
But you also love Mass Effect, by the way. And as you know, we talked about this a little bit. I'm starting the Mass Effect series, so I'm anxious to get into that.
It is incredible. It really is.
What system do you currently use? What are you, a Xbox or PlayStation?
Currently, I am on an Xbox.
Let's jump into Fallout 76. We'll talk old school gaming a little bit more in a minute, but I don't want to waste any more time because Fallout 76 is right on our doorstep. Here we are in September. The beta comes out next month. We don't. You have pre-ordered the game?
Yes, I have. I will be in the beta.
Me too as well, and I know you can't wait for it. I know I've asked you this before. You're excited for it. You're not nervous. What are you looking most forward to in Fallout 76?
Being a traitor. Honestly, that's all I want to
do. Fallout 76 is going to be so exciting as being a role-playing game. It's going to be so much more role-playing, it appears anyway, than Fallout 4 was, even Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
Being able to be the traitor, being able to be really whatever you want to be. The crafting is going to be so much more heavy in Fallout 76. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited for that.
Yes. What did you think about the panel at QuakeCon? What did you think about all the answers they gave as far as the PvP system and the perk system? Were you satisfied with those answers?
I was extremely satisfied. It just makes me want to play it even more now.
Are you nervous about PvP at all?
I mean, I'm not really nervous. Will there be griefing? Probably. But if we look at it from, people are going to do what they want to do. We just have to, keep doing what we're doing and just keep moving forward. That's just my opinion.
And Todd said this game is going to be continually changing. And of course, we know that's what the beta is for us to give our feedback and tell them, no, this is not working quite right, to change it. But it's going to be changing after the beta. And I believe the PvP system is one thing that is going to continually be changing, as far as they're going to continually be tweaking it and making it better and better and better. Me and you have talked about the pacifist flag and the blocking other players, and I think that is something they're on the right track on. Nobody's quite sure exactly how those things work. Everybody has a little bit different understanding what those things are. Like the pacifist flag. As far as I understand what the pacifist flag is, it is where your bullets will not start a duel, a PvP duel.
Right.
Now, that's what I understand the pacifist flag is. So if you put up the pacifist flag, your bullets will not start a PvP duel with anybody. And then on top of that, you can also, if somebody is trying to slap you with the bullets, you can block them if they're continually bothering you.
Right.
What do you think about the murdering system, the murder and the bounty and all that?
That looks so fun, honestly. It really does. I can't wait to try it.
Which is more role-playing. You can be the bad guy, or you can be the
bounty hunter.
Or the bounty hunter, exactly. And also the perk system, get into it just a little bit. The perk system looks like it kind of goes back more to the old skill system that we had back in the old days, instead of the perk tree of Fallout 4. Are you glad that we're going back more to the where you have to align your character in a certain direction?
Yeah, I am really excited about that. That just gives it more structure on how you want to make your character.
Like you're talking about a trader, you will have to focus your character on selling and being that trader. I guess you'll be on a lot of charisma perks and I guess charisma heavy then.
Yeah, very charisma heavy.
Yes.
I will have to put some points into strength though.
Are you going to play more solo or with friends?
I want to be playing more with friends than anything.
And you know, I think the perk system, the way they have it, kind of it not forces, that's not the right word, but it encourages you to play with friends, because you kind of need friends since your character is going to be structured specialized in one area. Then you're going to need friends that are specialized in other areas. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does, and that's what I believe it should be intended for.
Yeah, if you're a trader, then you're going to need a friend that's a builder, and you're going to need another friend that's a medic, and another friend that's, you know, so you have a group of 4 that's going to be a well-rounded character. Whereas in Fallout 4 or Skyrim, your character did everything, but it's not going to be that way in Fallout 76, which is exciting to me. Because see, I've never played a multiplayer game. Or do you have a multiplayer past?
I played a lot of Halo growing up, a lot of Call of Duty, some Battlefield. So I have some multiplayer experience.
Well, so you have, you're not as nervous then probably as I am, because see, I'm going into this, I'm a greenhorn going into this. I have no clue what to expect as far as the PvP. I've played a little bit of, and I hate to say it, I've played a little bit of, what's that Rockstar game, that terrible, I won't even,
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, there you go. I played a little bit of that. That's about it as far as online stuff, and I didn't like that very much. So I thought the mutations was neat that they were showing there at QuakeCon as well. And some of the mutations can be good or bad.
Right.
And you can actually keep the mutations. Well, you can keep them if they're good or bad, but if you keep them long enough, they stay with your character. What did you think about the mutations?
I'm really excited to try out the mutations. They look extremely incredible, and it just makes your gameplay experience that much different than anybody else's.
And some of them are going to be visible at times, they said?
Yep.
That's exciting. I wonder how visible they're going to be. Now, I know you're not going to turn into a kangaroo like it did in the video, but that is exciting. My mind's kind of gone wild how visible these mutations are going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be quite entertaining to see some of these mutations. I cannot wait to see it.
Wasn't it Jeff Garner that was talking about one of his mutations made him jump higher?
Yep. Was it bird wing or bird bone or something?
Yeah, it made him jump extremely high. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what some of these mutations can actually make you do. Now, this game is also going to be a lot more on the survival aspect. Bullets are going to have a weight to them. You're going to have to eat. You're going to have to drink. What do you think about the survival aspects of this game?
Well, it just makes it that much more intriguing to try to, make sure you always have food on you, make sure you always have water. It just makes your decision making on what you pick up that much more crucial.
It's more immersive too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever played a survival game other than this?
I haven't played an actual survival game before, but I have tried the hardcore mode on Skyrim, one of the mods.
Uh-huh.
And wow.
Have you played Fallout 4 survival mode on Fallout 4?
I haven't tried it on Fallout 4 yet. That's going to be my next venture.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Now, I can't imagine. Well, I can imagine because I've been thinking about it a lot. You can't sleep in Fallout 76 because it's a multiplayer game, obviously.
Right.
But everything else, as far as eating and drinking, and then weapon well, that's a hard word to say. Can't say it. Degrading. Your weapons will degrade again like they did in Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
Food will spoil again. So, I mean, you're really going to have to keep up with a lot of things in this game.
Yeah.
Like I said, with ammo now being having a weight to it, I mean, that's a lot to keep up with.
It is. It really is. That's why, going back to what I was saying, it makes your decision making more crucial. Especially since I'm going to be a trader, I have to put more value into, trading off food fast to other players and, buy ammo or, mine minerals to make ammo to sell them off. It's going to be so incredible to play as a trader, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, that's interesting. You brought up the mining. Again, crafting and that kind of stuff is so much more in this game. You're going to be able to mine things like iron ore and things to make the ammo. And in the trading aspect, we've looked into, there's going to be vending machines that you're going to be able to equip you're going to be able to set up your own store, that you can have vending machines that when you're absent, you can still sell things while you're gone, which is so interesting. So you can sell things as you're out, and on your person you can sell things, but you can also set up a shop with a vending machine and sell while you're gone. So I mean that's so just incredible.
Yep, it will be, and I'm really excited to try out that mechanic.
Does the survival aspect, and I don't, this word's a little strong, but does it scare you at all? I mean, is it because Fallout 76, think about it, being an online game, there's no you can't set it at easy. There's no settings. It's all one setting for everybody.
Yep.
So does it make you a little nervous stepping out into the world of a survival game with PvP and survival mode? And
it makes me extremely nervous.
But
also that much more fun.
I was about to say that's part of the fun, isn't it?
Yes.
And I guess that's kind of what Todd Howard was talking about, and Pete Hines. They said they want that tension.
Yeah, it's definitely needed, especially since there are going to be no human NPCs.
That's what makes the Fallout game. And of course, I have been saying this from the very beginning. Since you don't have raiders in the world, you need that tension, and you need some bad guys out in the world. And of course, the internet always gives you some bad guys.
Absolutely.
We'll get back to Fallout 76 in just a minute. I want to ask you some more personal questions, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
What are some of your hobbies outside of gaming, if you don't mind me asking?
Outside of video games?
Yes.
Well, obviously I have a wife and 2 daughters.
Yes.
And so my main focus is, having fun with them, taking them out to places. And where I live, we have a lot of the world's largest items.
Uh-huh.
Well, shouldn't say items, but I take them out to the world's largest arcade.
Wow. Okay.
If you're from the New England area, you should be able to pinpoint where that is.
Wow, very cool.
And then about 20 minutes away from me is where the world's longest mini golf hole is.
Very cool.
And I took my daughters down there, and they had a blast with that.
Do they like to play video games at all?
My oldest actually just started playing Skyrim with me.
All right. Teaching them right. That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Well, I have to ask, and I ask this in a very humble way. I want to ask this every time on this podcast. How did you find the KingFanMan channel?
I was actually watching one of Dom's videos, and he said something about your channel. I'm like, I'm going to go check that out.
Well, I'm going to have to thank Dom. That Vic said the same thing. She was watching a Starfield video of Dom's.
Yep.
And
that's what it was. It was a Starfield video.
Well, what made you stick with the KingFanMan and made you want to become a supporter in Patreon?
Just the way you do your content. Honestly, you keep it family friendly, so even when my kids are around, I can have it playing, because some of the other channels I follow aren't so kid friendly.
Yeah.
And when they're around, I can have you playing in the background, and they love listening to you as well. They think you're funny. Because I have every Saturday, whenever you do your live stream, I have it playing on all of my TVs, wherever I am.
Oh, that's great.
And they just love listening to it.
Well, what did they think about you being on the live stream last week?
Oh, they hadn't seen that. They haven't seen it yet.
Well, they're going to love that.
Oh, they're going to think it's a blast.
Yes. That's great. And then you being on this one, that's going to be amazing.
It will be.
Yes, that's wonderful. Other than Fallout 76, are you as excited, more excited for Starfield?
Because I'm a big sci-fi buff, and obviously, I'm a fan of the Mass Effect sagas, I will have to say I'm more excited for Starfield.
See, I'm a single-player guy. And I like space stuff too. I'm so excited for Starfield. And the way they talk, this is going to be, and excuse the pun, a game changer. That this game is just out of this world. And another pun, but it's going to change gaming.
It works.
Yeah. I can't wait for Starfield. I can't even hardly think about it. I just got to get my mind back on Fallout 76. What about games like Rage? Are you going to play Rage?
I'm gonna pick it up and try it.
Yep.
I played the first one. It was fun, short but fun.
But now you do like other Bethesda software games, like Wolfenstein and.
I love Wolfenstein.
What about Dishonored?
I have both of them, definitive editions.
So you are a true Bethesda all the way around fan.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
I've been very high in the Bethesda world because they make great games.
See, me and you need to do a podcast. I have a real strong feeling about the Bethesda community, and I mean the hardcore Bethesda community. The ones that love the Elder Scrolls, that love Fallout, that are looking forward to Starfield. They tend to not look at games like Wolfenstein and Prey and Dishonored. They tend to not get into those games as much, and I don't know why.
That is very strange. Why? I mean, they're incredible. Their stories are fantastic. The gameplay is phenomenal.
Wolfenstein won the best first-person shooter of the year in 2017.
Yeah.
And as far as...
And I can't wait for the DLC.
I know it. And from the Bethesda community, you don't hear much about it.
No.
Prey is an outstanding game, and it didn't hardly do anything. You know, you just don't hear much about it.
I will say, actually, Prey is one of the games I have not picked up yet.
It's a good... I mean, it's... if you want a game that makes you feel unsettled all the way through it, it's good. And it has that kind of BioShock feel to it all the way through as well. It's great.
And I loved BioShock.
You need to pick up Prey then. You would love it. You would love it. And that's another one I haven't played the DLC yet. So, and there's a new Wolfenstein coming out this summer. Did you know? It's a co-op game. It's Wolfenstein's Two Daughters. It's a co-op game coming out this summer.
Oh, I thought that was DLC for the Wolfenstein.
No, it's a whole new game coming.
A whole new one.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm definitely going to be getting that.
Yeah. So Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios now has 4 studios. They are going to be pumping out material.
They will be.
We are really living in the prime time for
golden age of...
Yes. Blades. Are you looking forward to Blades this fall? I know it's just a mobile game, but it looks amazing. I got to play it at QuakeCon. And
oh man, I'm jealous.
It looks better than Skyrim. It really does.
That's tough to do because Skyrim looked good, especially on the 360.
When Blades comes to console and you can play it on a controller, you're gonna love it. Now,
oh man, I'm excited.
Now
I like the town building aspect of it, in my opinion.
Now I know it will not have the depth of Skyrim, the quests and all that, but it looks fabulous. It really does.
Yeah, so, I'm excited to try it.
Well, you are like me. You are a Bethesda fan man, so I will officially put the fan man tag on you. And I'm proud to call you a Bethesda brother. Well, before we get out of here, can you believe it? We've already gone 30 minutes or more. Is there anything major you want to talk about before we end this? I want to definitely say thank you again for being a supporter of the KingFanMan channel. You have been a wonderful supporter, and I call you a friend as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I do consider you as a friend as well. Same with Wolfman and Mississippi Queen.
Yes.
And also Little Miss Ruby Red.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do, you too. And I hope and pray that this community, and that's part of what we're doing with this. I want to grow this community, right, and keep us close. And as you said, keep it family friendly, but keep a close community. I want to build a community here with the KingFanMan channel, and that's what we try to do. And with people like you, it's easy to do that. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on. I can't wait to explore West Virginia with you.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on the Patreon podcast with the King. That's hard to say. And I want to get you on the KingCast again very, very soon.
Anytime.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to the Patreon podcast for the King. You've been listening to me and Big T. So for Big T, I am KingFanMan, and we will see you again very soon. Bye, guys.